For thousands of years, humanity has searched for the truth behind our origins, our purpose, and the mysterious beings said to have shaped our earliest civilizations. But what if the answers have been hidden in plain sight, buried within ancient myths, sacred scriptures, and archaeological clues scattered across the globe? According to controversial interpretations of ancient Sumerian texts, our story begins 445,000 years ago, when powerful beings known as the Anunnaki descended to Earth from a distant world in search of gold. Upon finding a primitive species of upright walking hominids, they allegedly engineered a new kind of worker, obedient, intelligent, and capable of building the foundations of future civilizations. That worker was humanity, but creation was only the beginning. As legends tell it, the Anunnaki grew divided. Their desires and ambition led some to interbreed with human women, giving rise to fearsome giants remembered in the Bible as the Nephilim. Forbidden knowledge, metallurgy, magic, and the secrets of the cosmos was passed to humans, sparking conflict among the gods themselves. The resulting civil war triggered unimaginable devastation. Nuclear fire, global flood, and the collapse of pre-deluge worlds whose records are now lost to time. Yet fragments survive, etched in ancient tablets, echoed in scripture, and whispered through spiritual traditions worldwide. And as we follow these fragments, one question becomes impossible to ignore. Could the great spiritual teachers of history, including Jesus, be connected to the Anunnaki bloodline? Tonight, we dive into the mysteries that challenge everything we think we know about religion, human origins, and the unseen forces guiding our world. If you're ready to explore hidden knowledge, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dive discoveries. You have read the sacred teachings of the great spiritual leaders of all time. You've heard the stories of Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, Lao Tzu, and others whose wisdom reshaped entire civilizations. And yet, the deeper we dig into history, the more the evidence refuses to line up with the official narratives. Why did these extraordinary spiritual beings emerge seemingly out of nowhere, illuminate humanity with teachings far beyond their era, perform miracles that defy natural law, and then disappear from the earth as mysteriously as they arrived? How did their presence leave a spiritual impact powerful enough to last thousands of years, but leave behind so little physical evidence that they ever walked among us? How is it that these figures, separated by continents and time periods, delivered teachings with uncanny similarities? Ideas about compassion, karma, enlightenment, divine justice, resurrection, and cosmic order? How do we decide whose teachings are right and whose are wrong? Why does humanity receive only one great enlightened figure every few centuries, almost as if some unseen force is carefully timing their arrival? Why were these individuals able to attain levels of consciousness and power far beyond those of ordinary humans? Were they truly messengers sent by a divine creator, or emissaries from another world altogether, fulfilling a mission written in the deepest layers of human history? By the end of this video, you will understand a possibility that ancient civilizations hinted at, that mystery schools protected, and that modern scholars often dismiss, that all great spiritual leaders throughout history may have been manifestations of one single being, that they were avatars of the father of human civilization, the architect of our species, and Earth's ancient ruler, Enki, the firstborn son of Anu, king of the Anunnaki. According to ancient Sumerian cuneiform tablets, the oldest written records on the planet, our story does not begin with tribes of hunters gradually discovering fire or stumbling into agriculture. Instead, it begins 445,000 years ago, when Earth was visited by the Anunnaki, an advanced extraterrestrial civilization from a distant planetary body known as Nibiru. These beings, described with astonishing detail in the Sumerian King List and the Enuma Elish, were said to be capable of space travel, genetic manipulation, and feats of engineering that still puzzle modern historians. They came to Earth with a mission: to mine gold, which they needed to restore their deteriorating atmosphere. Enki, a brilliant scientist and genetic engineer, and his half-brother Enlil, a powerful commander, were assigned to lead the mission. But what they found on Earth was not enough. The mining operations were grueling, and the Anunnaki laborers eventually rebelled, a story recorded in the Atrahasis epic where the gods complain of toil too great. Facing a crisis, Enki proposed a revolutionary solution: use genetic engineering to modify a primitive hominid species already present on Earth, transforming it into a new being capable of performing the labor the Anunnaki needed. According to this interpretation, Homo sapiens did not emerge solely through natural evolution, but through an intentional act of creation, a hybrid of Earth's biology and Anunnaki genetic material. Humanity was born not merely from dust, but from the technology and ambition of beings from the stars. However, this act of creation sparked philosophical conflict within the Anunnaki. Enki viewed humans as children, beings capable of growth, creativity, and spiritual potential. Enlil saw them as tools, useful but dangerous, and noisy species prone to disobedience. That tension grew even sharper when some Anunnaki interbred with human women, producing powerful hybrids described in the Book of Enoch in Genesis as the Nephilim, giants of renown, capable of feats that defy modern understanding. The existence of these hybrids destabilized the world, leading to wars of enormous scale. Texts from Mesopotamia, the Hebrew Bible, Greek mythology, and Hindu scripture all reference similar ages of demigods, giants, and celestial beings who walked the earth. According to these accounts, Enlil grew increasingly furious, believing that humanity had become too powerful and too corrupted. He decided the experiment had failed. The myths of many cultures describe what happened next: a series of vast catastrophes. Ancient Sumerian tablets speak of plagues sent by the gods. Egyptian texts reference periods of famine and divine cleansing. Mesoamerican legends tell of cycles of destruction and rebirth. And eventually, just as recorded in the Epic of Gilgamesh and later in the Bible, came the Great Flood, unleashed to wipe the earth clean and erase the forbidden offspring. But Enki refused to let humanity perish. In secret, he enacted a plan to save not only the human race, but the creatures of earth as well. He summoned Enoch, the wise patriarch and great-grandfather of Noah. The Book of Enoch describes Enoch being taken into the heavens, shown visions of the universe, and instructed by luminous beings. But what if those heavens were spacecraft? What if the angels were Anunnaki? According to this interpretation, Enki transported Enoch to a concealed Anunnaki facility. Some theorize on Mars, referencing ancient lore describing Mars as a station of the gods, and others point to ruins photographed by early space probes. There, Enki revealed to Enoch the true account of Earth's past, the origins of humanity, the cosmic struggle between the Anunnaki, factions, and the impending cataclysm that would engulf the world. He granted Enoch forbidden knowledge, astronomy far beyond his time, moral laws, and spiritual principles that would later appear in numerous religions. Enki instructed him to create a priesthood that would preserve this wisdom in symbolic form, ensuring it survived long after the flood erased physical civilization. Many scholars have noted that early Jewish, Christian, Zoroastrian, and Egyptian traditions share remarkably similar cosmologies, perhaps because they descended from this single source. Enki's final command to Enoch was clear: prepare Noah to survive the coming deluge. The story of Noah's Ark, echoed in dozens of cultures worldwide, becomes far less mysterious under this lens. The enormous craft, the preservation of species, the advanced knowledge required to predict the flood. Was Noah building a simple wooden boat, or following Anunnaki instructions for a technologically assisted survival mission? After the flood, humanity emerged into a fractured world, but civilization returned at a speed impossible to explain through natural development alone. Sumer blossomed with advanced mathematics, astronomy, agriculture, and legal systems. Egypt erected monumental structures aligned with star systems. India produced spiritual texts hinting at cosmic battles and flying machines. Mesoamerica built pyramids mirroring the heavens. Ancient China recorded the descent of dragons from the sky, who gave kings the mandate of heaven. Everywhere, humanity seemed guided, pushed along a path of development that hints at hidden influence. And woven through all these traditions are recurring figures, teachers, prophets, god kings, enlightened ones. Krishna, Osiris, Zoroaster, Quetzalcoatl, Jesus, each appearing briefly, delivering profound teachings, demonstrating powers that modern science still cannot explain, and then vanishing as mysteriously as they arrived. Their messages echo each other across continents. Their symbols overlap. Their miracles resemble advanced technology more than divine intervention. Perhaps that is because they were not separate individuals, but successive incarnations of the same consciousness. Enki returning again and again to guide humanity's evolution, each time adapting to a new culture and a new era. Meanwhile, forces aligned with Enlil sought control, obedience, limitation, giving rise to fear-based religious systems, authoritarian empires, and doctrines meant to suppress knowledge. Human history, seen through this lens, is not a random series of events, but a cosmic struggle between those who wish to elevate humanity and those who wish to restrict it. And we, the descendants of this ancient experiment, continue to live out the consequences of that celestial rivalry. The deeper you explore the world's oldest scriptures, the more the pattern emerges. The closer you examine archaeological anomalies, the more the pieces begin to fit. And as modern discoveries, from genetic research to new translations of ancient tablets, come to light, the story becomes harder to dismiss. If all great spiritual leaders were avatars of Enki, then the history of humanity is far more extraordinary than we have been taught. Our religions, our myths, our sense of morality, even our concept of the soul, may all trace back to a single ancient architect who has guided us from the shadows since the dawn of our creation. After the flood, Enki convinced Enlil to allow Noah and his wife to repopulate the earth under control conditions. Enlil was skeptical, still shaken by the destruction and chaos that humanity had caused before the deluge. But Enki assured him there would be peace. He promised that humanity could be guided, shaped, disciplined, and kept under watchful control. In Enlil's mind, this was the only acceptable scenario. The world had been cleansed. The troublesome hybrids were gone, and Earth was a blank slate. If humankind were to rise again, it would be under the strictest supervision. Enki revealed to Enlil his plan for keeping the human race obedient, a system of laws, rituals, spiritual narratives, and hierarchical structures that would control behavior without the need for constant Anunnaki oversight. Enlil, trusting his half-brother and eager to return to his duties on Nibiru, accepted the proposal and departed Earth to report these developments to King Anu. After Noah's bloodline, assisted by advanced Anunnaki, reproductive and cloning technologies began to multiply across the recovering Earth. Enki appeared before them once more. This time, he came not as a rescuer or secretive mentor, but as a lawgiver. He instructed the leaders of the new human communities to inscribe his teachings on tablets made of blue lapis lazuli, a stone revered for millennia for its connection to royalty, divinity, and cosmic power. The stylus used was made of electrum and crystal, materials chosen not for aesthetics, but for their conductive and energetic properties, which, according to ancient lore, allowed the inscriptions to resonate with subtle vibrational frequencies. These tablets would become known as the Laws of Good Seed, a set of rules governing lineage, morality, ritual conduct, and social structure. They laid down the laws that the Earthlings must follow, laws supposedly designed to maintain order, but also, more covertly, to ensure that humanity remained dependent on Anunnaki guidance. This moment, preserved in Sumerian myths but later transformed into symbolic narrative, is echoed in the Old Testament story of Moses receiving the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai. The parallels are striking, a divine being descending, inscribing laws upon stone tablets, delivering a covenant to guide humanity. Scholars and theologians have long struggled to reconcile why. Cultures separated by thousands of years and vast geography share nearly identical motifs. Yet, through the ancient astronaut lens, the explanation becomes clear. They were all referencing the same historical event. Enki's tablets emphasize prioritizing succession through the offspring of half-sibling marriages to preserve royal bloodlines, a practice still upheld in various disguised forms by ruling elites throughout human history. Ancient Egypt, for instance, famously practiced sibling marriage within the pharaonic lines to preserve the divine blood. The Inca emperors, too, were required to marry their sisters. Even in medieval Europe, royal families intermarried for generations to maintain pure lineage. While historians typically frame these traditions as cultural quirks or political strategies, the deeper possibility remains. They were echoes of an original mandate passed down from Enki himself. But Enki had deceived everyone. His outward cooperation with Enlil concealed a secret agenda. While Enlil believed humanity would be kept in rigid control, Enki had already taken steps to ensure that humans would evolve far beyond their intended limitations. He had secretly mated with 2 earthling females, producing 2 hybrid children, a son and a daughter, whose intelligence, adaptability, and spiritual sensitivity far exceeded that of ordinary humans. These 2, raised by Enki himself, became prototypes of the future human being, not slaves, but creators, thinkers, leaders. Enki taught them agriculture, animal husbandry, engineering principles, and spiritual practices involving energy, vibration, and cosmic alignment. The son and daughter eventually produced 30 offspring of their own, becoming the foundational ancestors of a new hybrid line, half Anunnaki, half human. These were not mere survivors. They were the seeds of civilization. Thus, the first true human civilization was born, not as a spontaneous leap forward, but as a carefully orchestrated plan guided by Enki's hidden vision for humanity's destiny. As the centuries passed, the earth recovered from the devastation of the flood. Forests regrew, oceans stabilized, and animals repopulated the land. Under Enki's quiet supervision, human communities expanded from simple villages into sophisticated settlements. The Earthlings mastered arts and sciences that seemed shockingly advanced for their era. Math that predicted celestial cycles, astrology that mapped the heavens with uncanny accuracy, alchemy that explored the transformation of matter, and even rudimentary understandings of magnetism and electrical energy. Many of the world's ancient symbols, such as the caduceus, the winged disc, and the sacred spiral, emerged during this time as visual echoes of the knowledge Enki imparted. Human achievements during this period were nothing short of extraordinary. Structures like the Great Pyramids of Egypt, aligned with star systems and built with surgical precision, were erected not by slaves with ropes and primitive tools, but with knowledge and assistance that modern engineers still cannot fully explain. Similar mysteries surround Göbekli Tepe, Stonehenge, the megaliths of Baalbek, and the Nazca Lines, sites whose construction and purpose defy conventional archaeology. Behind these marvels stood the descendants of Enki's hybrid line, guided by principles far beyond what ordinary humans could have discovered alone. However, everything changed when Enlil returned from Nibiru. Upon his arrival, he was shocked to see the progress humanity had made. Instead of the simple, obedient laborers he expected to find, he encountered complex societies, monumental structures, vast knowledge systems, and a blossoming civilization. His reaction was immediate and furious. He confronted Enki directly, accusing him of betrayal. To Enlil, this was more than disobedience. It was a direct threat to the established order of the cosmos. If humans could rise so quickly, what prevented them from becoming a rival species? Enki defended his actions, arguing that the human potential was far greater than Enlil had ever imagined. He insisted that their artistic creativity, spiritual sensitivity, and capacity for innovation were not dangerous but inspiring. He envisioned a future where humans could become co-creators, stewards of Earth, and perhaps even explorers of the stars. Enlil rejected this vision, but even he could not deny the astounding growth of the post-flood world. Human cities glimmered along rivers, their temples resonated with sacred chants, and their astronomers charted the heavens. With precision unmatched for millennia, the brothers debated for a long time, each one representing a different philosophy of creation. Their conflict echoed ancient dualities found in countless cultures: order versus freedom, authority versus wisdom, law versus innovation. And just as those traditions suggest, a compromise was eventually reached. The Earthlings would be allowed to survive and continue developing, but the planet would be divided into 4 regions under the control of the Anunnaki royal families. Each faction would guide or exploit the humans according to their interests. Enki was permitted to continue his experiment, to educate and uplift humanity, but only on the condition that he not interfere with the other lords' usage of Earthlings for labor, worship, or regional governance. This pact shaped the world as we know it. It explains why ancient civilizations developed differently across continents. Mesopotamia, under Enki's influence, became a center of knowledge and agriculture. Egypt, under another Anunnaki lord, emphasized monumental architecture and spiritual rites. The Indus Valley and early China evolved under yet other factions, each reflecting unique celestial teachings and priorities. The supposed gods that ancient cultures worshipped were often the Anunnaki rulers administering their respective territories. Their symbols, doctrines, and rituals bore the mark of their divergent philosophies. Meanwhile, Enki continued to plant seeds of enlightenment among humanity. His hybrid descendants spread across the continents, becoming the legendary founders of dynasties, sages of mystery schools, architects of temples, and bearers of sacred knowledge. Some cultures remembered them as demigods, others as culture heroes like Viracocha, Oans, or Thoth. In some traditions, they were the Watchers, the Divine Kings, or the Sons of Heaven. Across religions, echoes of Enki's lineage can be seen. In stories of miraculous births, divine insight, or kings claiming descent from star beings. The compromise between Enki and Enlil did not end the cosmic tension. It simply moved the battlefield from the heavens to human civilization. Over time, their rivalry expressed itself through human empires, wars, religions, and ideologies. Enlil's factions emphasized obedience, hierarchy, and divine punishment, shaping fear-based religious systems. Enki's influence appeared in mystical traditions, esoteric teachings, and philosophical movements that encouraged inner awakening, compassion, and knowledge. Humanity became the arena where 2 ancient visions played out, one seeking control, the other seeking liberation. And through it all, the legacy of Enki's secret lineage endured, woven into royal bloodlines, encoded in sacred texts, hidden in symbols, and preserved in myths that survive the erosion of time. Even today, fragments of this ancient drama persist in unexplained artifacts, uncanny architectural alignments, and global stories of gods who descended from the sky, created humanity, shaped civilizations, and promised to one day return. From then on, the human race was seemingly left to its own devices. Yet history tells a more complicated story. Periodically, often at moments of crisis, cultural transition, or spiritual stagnation, extraordinary beings appeared as if out of nowhere, carrying wisdom that surpassed the understanding of their era. They emerged in scattered locations around the world, speaking different languages, adopting different forms, Yet their core messages shared uncanny similarities. The idea that humanity simply invented these teachers strains belief when their lives, abilities, and teachings seem to reflect a deeper, hidden pattern guiding their arrival. Of all these figures, Jesus of Nazareth stands as the most transformative, revered in Christianity as the Son of God and the Savior of humanity. His influence reshaped the social, moral, and political structures of the Western world. The New Testament claims that his mother, Mary, conceived him through immaculate conception, a divine miracle with no earthly explanation. But if we place Jesus within the larger framework of the Anunnaki intervention in human evolution, a different possibility emerges. What if the miraculous birth was not a supernatural event, but a technological one? What if Mary was not visited by an angel in a purely spiritual sense, but rather contacted, or even taken, by beings with scientific abilities far beyond what ancient humans could comprehend? If the Anunnaki were masters of genetic engineering, as the Sumerian tablets suggest, then the idea that Jesus carried the DNA of Enki becomes plausible. Within this mythic framework, Enki had long intervened to protect, uplift, and guide humanity, often acting in secret against Enlil's more authoritarian vision. If Enki wished to influence human evolution again, this time not through physical engineering, but through moral and spiritual transformation, then sending an avatar born of both human and Anunnaki genetics would be consistent with the pattern seen in earlier ages. The compassion in Jesus' teachings mirrors Enki's attitude toward humanity, an affinity documented across Sumerian myths and religious echoes in later cultures. Jesus spoke not of punishment and wrath, but of forgiveness, healing, and liberation. Messages often at odds with the more rigid doctrines attributed to the Lord of the Old Testament, whom some comparative mythologists interpret as aligning more closely with Enlil's temperament. Jesus emphasized the inner kingdom, the divinity within, and the capacity of all humans to transcend physical limitation, ideas resonant with Enki's desire to elevate humanity rather than suppress it. Then there are the miracles: walking on water, multiplying fish and bread, healing the sick, restoring sight to the blind, commanding storms, and reanimating the dead. Each of these feats, when stripped of religious framing, sounds less like magic and more like advanced technology. Modern science already edges toward recreating some of these abilities: levitation through electromagnetic fields, regeneration of cells through genetic therapy, weather modification through atmospheric manipulation. If we imagine a being with hundreds of thousands of years of scientific advancement behind him, the acts attributed to Jesus begin to resemble demonstrations of controlled Anunnaki technology rather than divine violations of natural law. And what about resurrection? Jesus' death and rebirth are central to Christian faith, but similar themes appear in numerous ancient traditions. Zarathustra is said to have ascended to the realm of light. Osiris was resurrected after dismemberment. Krishna returned after departing his mortal body. Buddha transcended the cycle of suffering and manifested a body of pure consciousness. When viewed collectively, these stories point to a recurring archetype: a being who descends to earth, teaches humanity, dies or is killed, then rises again to return to the heavens. Rather than being coincidental repetitions, these narratives may reflect repeated manifestations of Enki, whose essence, according to the mythological interpretation, could incarnate across ages and cultures. This raises a profound question. Were these figures separate individuals, or were they cultural masks of the same cosmic teacher? If Enki used avatars, genetically engineered vessels, or direct incarnations to guide humanity's development, then Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, and others may have been iterations of the same consciousness adapting to different civilizations. Many spiritual traditions speak of avatars, emanations, or bodhisattvas, beings who return again and again to uplift humanity whenever the world falls into chaos. The Bhagavad Gita explicitly states that whenever righteousness declines, the divine will manifest again and again in human form. Could these ancient declarations have been cryptic references to Enki's interventions? As we consider the possibility of extraterrestrial influence woven into the origins of religion, deeper questions emerge. Are we the experiment of godlike beings from across the stars? Have we been engineered, modified, and guided into becoming what we are today? Evidence from genetics, anthropology, and mythology suggests that humanity appeared too abruptly, with cognitive abilities and capacities that seem inconsistent with slow natural evolution. The sudden emergence of agriculture, writing, astronomy, and architecture in disparate parts of the world hints at a guiding intelligence, one that periodically intervened to accelerate progress. If this is true within the narrative's mythic framework, then the question becomes even more unsettling. Are we destined to remain under the control of our creators? Are we children watched by parental forces or prisoners monitored by unseen jailers? The Anunnaki, divided as they were, may have left Earth physically, but their influence permeates our institutions, myths, and bloodlines. Some legends claim their descendants still walk among us, hidden in elite families or disguised behind positions of global power. And most importantly, are we caught in the middle of an ancient feud between Enki and Enlil? Their conflict over humanity has echoed through millennia, shaping everything from religious doctrines to political ideologies. Enlil, the strict overseer, wished to control or eliminate humanity. Enki, the compassionate scientist, sought to nurture and uplift us. This duality mirrors the constant tension in human civilization between forces of domination and freedom, suppression and enlightenment, obedience and curiosity. If this cosmic rivalry continues, then the future of humanity may depend on which faction prevails. What happens when Enlil decides it is time for the human creation experiment to end? The flood may have been only one attempt to reset the world. Myths across cultures describe cycles of destruction: fire, water, earthquakes, celestial battles, leading some theorists to believe that humanity has been reset multiple times. If another cycle looms, will Enki intervene again to save us? Or has humanity advanced enough that intervention is no longer necessary? Throughout history, prophets have warned of end times, transformations, returns of the gods, or judgments from the heavens. Whether these prophecies were metaphorical or literal, whether they referred to spiritual awakening or extraterrestrial reckoning, remains open to interpretation. But they all suggest that humanity's story is not purely human. A deeper script is being followed. And so we find ourselves asking questions that stretch the boundaries of accepted history and mainstream religion. Did the ancient gods leave? Or did they simply step behind a veil of secrecy, watching to see what their creation would become? Are the spiritual visions, mystical encounters, and miraculous events experienced throughout history remnants of past contact? Are the unexplained lights in the sky and modern sightings echoes of the same watchers who guided ancient civilizations? We stand at the edge of a vast mystery, one that spans from the ruins of forgotten empires to the pages of Holy Scripture, from the genetic code within our cells to the legends passed down in every culture. The more we uncover, the more the pieces align. Humanity may not be alone in its origin, its destiny, or its spiritual evolution. At the heart of this mystery lies a being whose fingerprints appear across myth, religion, and history. Enki, the ancient architect of mankind. We'll explore that and more next time. The story of humanity is far greater and far stranger than we have been taught, and only by questioning the narratives handed to us can we uncover the truth. Please leave any theories or insights you have in the comments below and share what you'd like me to explore in future videos. Until then, keep your eyes and mind open. Thanks for watching. Because the powers that be want to suppress free thinkers at all costs, they will censor anything that challenges the established version of history. If you want to stay informed and continue exploring the secret knowledge of the ages, please subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. That way, even if they try to silence or deplatform me, we will remain connected. Thanks again for your support. And remember, the truth is older than any civilization, deeper than any religion, and far more powerful than we have been allowed to understand. What did you think about today's video? Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If this video opened your mind or helped you see reality in a new light, don't forget to like and subscribe to Top Hidden Knowledge so you never miss our next deep dive into mystery, perception, and the hidden workings of our universe. And if you have time, explore more videos on our channel. We're just getting started. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and never stop questioning the world around you.